All right. Now I'm very happy to welcome back the CEO and commissioner of this season in Mr. Peter Simones. You can follow them on Twitter at _SZN. Peter, thanks for coming back on the show. It is the week of the NFL, my man. What's going on?
Yeah, always love being here. Thanks for having me. I'm a born and bred Packers fan, and they're playing in Brazil in 2 days, and that still hasn't really registered with me. But I love the notion that the Packers are just going to become the team of Brazil. That's what my future reading is, and I hope that they start that journey on Friday.
Well, it is a long ways away. It's not quite as far as Europe, I don't think, but yeah, it's crazy that they're playing in Brazil. They need to be safe out there for sure. I hear that there's extra security going on out there, but I'm a Bears fan, as you remember, so I'm not I'm not exactly like as anti-Packer as some Bears fans. If I bet on the Packers, I want them to win as a sports bettor, but.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's just so unique this week. I don't even know what the spread is unique. Everything's unique about that game. And I don't know. I can't imagine too many survivors are going to be picking this game.
No, not at all. Yeah, if you're in a survivor pool, and it's usually this way, is that the opening game on Thursday, and now they have this additional game on Friday. Almost never is that a matchup that looks good from a survivor pool standpoint.
Absolutely, in such a foreign place. Well, hey, let's talk a little bit about the season again, man. For any new listeners out there, and there are quite a few, and anybody that just forgot, let's talk real quick about the season, how it got started, and what you offer to people around the world.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, we're called The Season. Kiev will put a link down in the description, but if you like what we're talking about, you can go to www.theszn.com/OB. And we've got some special offers for you there. But The Season, we do sports pools, and we like to think that we do sports pools better than anybody else. We have very big prizes. It's a very sort of budget-friendly price point of $10 for any pool that we do, and further discounts if you buy our bundles of pools. We run some of the biggest player account pools out there. So we've done NFL Survivor pools that have 12,000 people. This year, we pay $50,000 to one person who's going to be our big NFL Survivor champ. One thing that's unique is we ensure a single champion for every pool that we do. We don't do ties. We have ways that we structure the pools that are simple but unique, that produces a champion who likes ties. So one person is going to win $50,000. We pay tons of places for every pool, so you don't have to be the winner in order to cash. And as you and I like to talk about, Kiev, we do some formats that you don't see anywhere else. So we've invented some formats that are turns on the things that Survivor, Pick'em, props, and we've taken them and we've made them sort of seasonified, as we like to say, in ways that we just think is super fun. So if you're somebody who enjoys sort of following sports with a little bit of something on the line, and you want to do it in a budget-friendly way that allows you to have fun, but also maybe win something really big, The Season is a great option for you, and we'd love to have you.
Oh, absolutely. It's affordable. You don't have to travel, and you have a bunch of contests right in front of you, which is awesome. And I love the fact that you have guarantees. 50,000 to first place, and over 100,000 guaranteed payouts throughout the whole pool, which is fantastic. But it's not just that situation. You have the big Survivor. That's the biggest one, right? And that's probably what everyone talks about the most.
Yep. It's we've been doing it for 16 years. This is our 16th year doing the big Survivor. It's certainly what made us famous. Not just the fact that we do it, but we do a lot of fun content. We have a lot of community that we've built around this. And I think the people that have been with The Season for a long time, they look at us, they're just like, you're just more fun than anything else. And they often do it with their friends and with their coworkers. And so they have groups of folks that have been in this thing for a long time. And it becomes sort of a social event of like, hey, who can last the longest in Survivor? And if you have somebody who's in it deep into the year, it's really fun to root for them, right? Because they have a shot at something really big. So yeah, Survivor is the biggest one that we do, but we have 11 NFL pools in total. We have 215,000 in guaranteed prizes across those 11 pools. And like I said, each one is just $10, but you can do a bundle. For instance, we do the full bundle of all 11 pools. That we actually have a special for Odds Breakers listeners that you can get that entire thing for just $50. So it's basically more than half off if you were to buy each of those pools individually. And yeah, Survivor, we do loser Survivor. So same concept, except, you're picking a team to lose, arguably harder than traditional Survivor. And we do some fun stuff like a quarterback one and done, where you pick one quarterback each week and you get his passing yards, but you can only use each quarterback once. And so there's a dance, especially with like quarterback injuries, which was a big deal last year. Do you try to use your big guns early? How do you sort of sneak in a mediocre quarterback when they're playing a terrible defense? So some fun strategy stuff where all of our pools have a similar theme of it's really simple to pick. You can do it in a minute a week, right? But if you want to dive into the strategy and really think about the nuance, that's available to you.
Absolutely. And I'm going to share my screen here. There is just so much fun involved. Like just 7 minutes ago, somebody posts and the Saints go marching on. It's this big board of where people talk smack back to each other. They also kind of give ideas, throw some curveballs on all these competitions that are going on. So when you talk about fun, Peter, this is exactly what it is. People just having a blast on it. It's more of a community based thing. So people just really enjoy interacting with it and going back and forth. And you can have these little mini groups too, where it's your buddies get together and talk and compete just against each other too. That's what I love about the format. And that's kind of what you were talking about here on how people just love how fun it is in the first place. And yeah, Big Survivor is definitely the biggest one, over $100,000 worth of payouts, but the whole thing over $200,000 worth of payouts. And, there's a lot of fun other stuff. And one thing we're sponsoring is Loser Survivor at the Odds Breakers. And what's great about Loser Survivor is harder. I think it's harder. I mean, there's only a few bad teams. And once you burn them out, it's like you're picking the loser of these games. And a lot of times it might not even go to week 18 when it comes to Loser Survivor. And it just gets very, very tedious. You can't pick on a team all year. You have to find losers, and that is quite tough. And what are your thoughts on Loser Survivor? How far does it usually make it?
Yeah, you're correct that it usually, I think actually in all cases, it has ended before the traditional Survivor. It is hard. I mean, listen, I think that there's always nuance, right? But the basic traditional Survivor strategy is sort of, you just got to find a way to survive the first 3 to 4 weeks when things are shaking out. You don't know, who's truly good, who's truly bad. A lot of sort of the sharps, if you will advise you to make some of your safer picks early on, even though you might feel like, am I wasting a good team? Because once you get to week 4, you kind of know who the really bad teams are. And then you can start to settle in and just pick against those teams repeatedly. That's traditional Survivor. In Loser Survivor, you don't have that benefit. You can't just continue picking on the same terrible teams, and like the best teams in the league might still end up with 5-6 losses. So it's not like you can just continue to pick the teams that are playing against those best teams. So you just have fewer good options, or fewer quote safe options on a weekly basis. And it always ends before the traditional Survivor in terms of week we crown a champion.
I challenge everybody to try this out. Get on this page and do this Loser Survivor. It is a ton of fun. Let's talk about some of the other contests then. So that quarterback pick 'em once a week. So is it the most passing yards, and you kind of add it all up at the end? Is that how that works?
Exactly. Yeah, it's pick one quarterback, you get the passing yards. We have a bit of a wrinkle where, just to simplify it, we give so you pick the quarterback, you get the team's passing yards. So we do that because nobody loves a notion where a quarterback goes down with a single season-ending injury in the first quarter, and then sort of your pick for that week is blown. So we will give you the backup's passing yards if he gets in there. But largely speaking, pick the quarterback, earn his yards, and then we have an overall competition all 18 weeks, and then we have prizes for individual intervals first 6 weeks, middle 6 weeks, final 6 weeks. So a big way that we structure pools at the season is to try to keep you having fun and keep you in the game and having something to play for, even if you're not doing great in the overall standings, or even if you're not doing great in one pool. We have this other pool that gives you something to get excited about, gives you something to pick. And so that's part of why we do these intervals. But yeah, again, super basic at face value, but there's a lot of strategy that you could choose to get into about which quarterbacks you use at which time. Are you picking quarterbacks because you think the offense is great and the quarterback is great, or are you picking against a weak secondary or against a team that you don't feel has much to play for? So those are the things that go into that. One other one I'll give a shout out is we have what we call our all 32 one and done. So in the first 4 weeks, you just pick a team to win. And then in the remaining weeks, you pick 2 teams to win. And you can only use each team once. And so what that means is you will use every NFL team exactly once. And then you get a basic win-loss record out of 32 picks. And whoever does the best wins that pool. And
so it's not like Survivor where you're still in it, even if you mess up, right?
Exactly. Even if you lose week 1, even if you lose first 2 weeks, you're still in it. The whole game is at the end, which person has the most wins. And what's fascinating is that in these pools, we do them for every sport. What we see is that people will jump out to leads early on. They might even be 16-0, 17-0, 18-0, but it's really hard to do that unless you've been using all of the best teams. And so a very common thing is that we'll see huge standing shakeups in the last 5 to 6 weeks of the year when some of the people at the top of the leaderboard have ran out of teams, hoping they're going to get lucky at the end, and they don't. They keep losing several weeks in a row. And then people who had saved a lot of the teams and were strategic about it, that comes and pays off, and they rise up and win. And so last year, I think our champ was 27-5. So won the entire pool despite losing 5 games. But I believe that they were 20-5, and then they won their last 7 and rose up
there
from
you go.
the standings to take it.
Huge comeback. They probably save teams like the Ravens, maybe the Chiefs, how they made such a big push at the end, some of those teams, Dallas, that's what they probably did. And that's what's so fun about it. What's great is like you get out of Big Survivor, you still are having fun with all these pools, and and you can still talk back and forth. And that's what's so cool about it. What else makes these unique and these fun for our listeners or anybody that wants to get in?
Yeah. So, I mean, one thing, and we've been doing podcasts for several years now, and we love the Odds Breakers. And we decided this year that we wanted to give some love to all of you who are listening out there. And so we partnered to put together a free Odds Breakers survivor pool that is its own thing just for the listeners and subscribers of the Odds Breakers that pays out guaranteed prizes. And all you have to do is go to www.theszn.com/OB. Kiev will put the link in the comments. Create a simple season account with your email, join that free pool, and boom, you've got something that you might win. You're in a community of other Odds Breakers listeners, and you get a taste of what the season is all about. So that's out there. You should definitely go do that. It'll take you 30 seconds to a minute to make that happen. And then, of course, as I said, we're also offering an even bigger discount on our bundles of pools where for Odds Breakers listeners, you can go to that same link and you'll see an offer to get all 11 of our NFL pools, all 215,000 in guaranteed prizes, tons of chances to win throughout the Super Bowl. And you get it for $50. I don't think there's a better deal out there in terms of value for your money, in terms of the fun that you get from it. And so that's a special for Odds Breakers listeners on top of just the free pool that everyone should go join right now.
Yeah, it's free completely. Minimum $250 payout. Now, if we get more than 25 people, we're going to up it and put money out of our own pockets. Obviously, as people sign up with my link too, that's when we're going to start upping it as well. So right now, it's just minimum free $250 no matter what, but that's going to go up as people join. And that's just for Odds Breakers listeners and people that follow us on our website. I'm actually tweeting that out right now at the Odds Breakers. So if you guys want to get in on that, you can just click on the link on the tweet. And obviously, we're going to have all this at our descriptions on the bottom when this posts to YouTube, when this posts to the website, theoddsbreakers.com. So make sure you check it out. And obviously, it's scrolling across the bottom, which is awesome. So in saying this, man, last thing about your big survivor, there's only one winner every single year, isn't there?
Only one. We do that with all our pools. We don't believe in ties. No damn ties on the season. We will crown a champion in every pool. A lot of other places will advertise this big money, but really they end up splitting it between 150 people. We don't do that. When you look at our prize table, the amount listed on the champion line, one person is going home with that. So one person is going to win 50,000. The big survivor pays 700 places. And we have 2,000 places total paid across those 11 pools. So you don't have to win to make some money. Even if you don't make money, you'll have a ton of fun. But yes, one person is going to win that big survivor and take home $50,000.
Hopefully it's you. I mean, that is what we all feel. Hopefully it is us. But no, it'd be great if one of our listeners did that. And it's prestigious to do, and you become legendary immediately. It's an amazing site, theseason.com, and that is the SZN.com. Go to /OB to get in our free pool, plus get the huge discount that they're offering. Peter, thank you so much for coming on and breaking this down. I'm very excited for football this week. Best of luck to you.
Thank you. Happy football, man. It was great to come on the podcast. Thanks for having me.